and welcome to episode 3 of the XG podcast, the Small Creators podcast. My name is Xanthi, and I'm with Grymskull, my friend and fellow content creator. And today we are going to talk about, does production matter? Content creation, production. What do you say, Grimskull?
What do I say?
Yeah.
Well, I mean it does. Production does matter. But
But
there's a lot of questions that that go into
yes,
that. I mean, certainly, you know, uh
then that's what we are
what do we say?
going to cover,
We're
because
gonna go
when
over that.
people
Yeah.
think, yeah, production, they see, okay, equipment and expensive equipment and everything, but it's not only that. So so
Correct.
what do you think, what is, in your opinion, goes into a good production from your perspective?
Well, you're gonna have your content. You want to have
Right,
good content for your production. You want
right.
to have good presentation as part of that. Your
Mhm.
audio, your visuals,
Yes.
some branding. So that all
Mhm.
goes into production, but as a small streamer, right? That's just starting out, a lot of times you can't, or don't have those resources
The
for
budget.
equipment and stuff like that. But so, the as they say in the web biz, I'm sure you've heard this, like content is king, right? Content
Yes.
is king.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter how good your stuff's going to look. You've also got to put that effort into having good content, whether that's a vlog or whether you're doing tutorials or reviews or anything or commentary, if if you just kind of sit there and ramble on
Which I probably
about
have done
things.
it sometimes.
Look, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to throw stones when I live in a glass house because it's one of the things I suffer from,
Mm.
is, being more strategic or organized with the content I want to do. And that's
Yes.
something that you struggle with
Mm.
as a content creator. Production does matter, but you have to know what there's a lot of thing that goes into production, but you got to really understand what to focus on, you know, at certain stages.
Yes. I agree. I agree. And we don't pretend that we are the experts, that we know everything. We just share our experience so
Experiences. Yep.
far, and what the things that we notice and things that we want to be better at in the future during our content creation journey. And yeah, when we mean what we mean in this episode about production, it's not only about equipment, right? That's what you are trying also to say, your point, that it doesn't have to be about expensive equipment. It's everything, it's the whole presentation. From the content, as you said, content is king. It doesn't matter if you have the most expensive camera that costs, I don't know, $10,000 or whatever, or if you have this,
Right.
it's what you present. If I say my opinion, what I say, but this, yes, production does matter. And if you see my first videos, well, we have talked about it in the previous episodes. We have developed, and this is what every beginner will do from the very first live stream or very first video, from the first to the 50th or to the 100th. You will develop, and I'm not saying that you will develop necessarily with material means, but with presenting your story, you do become better. It is a skill, and you get more experience, as
Right.
we get. Yeah, now,
Right.
yes. I might getting off subject a bit here,
Mm.
but what I wanted to say, if we say a few things about production when it comes to equipment. If you we say a few things about equipment, we have said it before. It's audio, of course. I mean, clear audio is very important. But if you have clear audio and your content or the story you're sharing, it's not good, or you don't have anything to really to say, then it's not going to help if you have the most expensive microphone, right?
Right, 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 right.
Mm.
You want to have your content structured and know what you want to talk about ahead of time, and outlined out with the information you want to provide. Because and one of my big faults right now is like, because we both stream and
Mm.
we both kind of have fallen prey to this, to where we know what we're going to talk about, but then we get caught up in engaging with our chat
Yes.
or just goofing off. And
Yes.
and people come there, they say, oh, today Grim is going to show me how to mask things properly in Photoshop, and then it's a 3-hour stream and I don't get to
To the masking.
the to the masking part for like an hour. So
Mm.
and that comes with like what kind of production you're going to do too, right? If you are you doing videos or are you doing streaming? In either case, you want to be able to provide that content in a structured way and deliver it in a concise manner that's understandable, so that people don't come to your channel and just kind of feel like, "Oh, I haven't learned anything yet. Why?" you know you cannot just grab a microphone, and then sit down and just start rambling on. You want to provide that content in
Yes.
a consumable way.
Yes. However, if you're just a beginner, you might end up rambling if you're just starting out. And that's
True.
part of the process. So don't get discouraged by that. You should do that. I
Agreed.
have done it. I have had live streams when I have been more organized than other live streams, or videos where
Yeah.
I'm more structured than other videos. And it's part of the game. But the important thing is to put some attention, to put some focus into that. And no one is perfect. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Go watch my videos and leave comments and say, "Oh, this one is not good, but this one is." I mean,
Right.
go watch our content,
And
Grimskulls and mine. Yeah.
but that's a
Mm.
good thing. You bring up a good point. It's like, do a video or a stream and then go back and watch and critique yourself, see where you need to improve in your content delivery. Are you getting your story or your message or that tutorial or that information out, in a
Mm.
in a way that people are going to want to come back, because that helps you, that they know that you know what you're talking about. And here's the thing: you don't necessarily have to be an expert at things. You just need to know something and want to be able to share that with others. That's the big thing. It's about sharing, what knowledge you have with others. uh and you don't necessarily, if you can't do that, then buying the best camera is not going to help. Buying the best
That's
microphone is not going to help. Having a nice studio is not going to help if people are not getting good content out of your message, out of your content. So
true, true. Because there are many examples of streamers or YouTubers that they just use a webcam and nothing
right,
behind. Like, okay, we have those things. I mean, we like those things. I would have had them anyway in my room
right,
here, but those are not necessary to be a successful. You don't need those to become a successful YouTuber. They probably they doesn't have added any content value. It's just me enjoying sitting here. I have a video that I did in Greek, actually, at some point, because I really had wanted to, and it was completely white. I just had the lamp on here. It was just
hmm
a sofa in the background, and it got some views and engagement. I mean, the people didn't care about the wall. Well, as long as it's not. I mean, just make sure that you fix the bed. If you're in your bedroom, fix the bed. Don't have a
right.
clutter. I mean, I think that's also
And
important.
that's kind of another thing. Like, what, does production matter? Yes, production does matter,
Yes.
specific points. But, like, what do you think goes into production? It does not need to be a Hollywood
No.
production, right? You don't have to have, like all these lights, a whole studio setup, for a simple production. You can use your phone, get a window, yeah,
Yes.
sit by a window with natural light, you know, but that could be all you need to deliver that content that you're trying to provide. Whether maybe you're doing a review on something, or commentary, or a tutorial or something. You you you, you don't need right off the bat any of that. It doesn't need to be a Hollywood production to get good content out and to be a good production. Uh,
Correct. Correct. I agree. I agree. And I mean, I think we have used the example of, many use the example of XQC. He's a big streamer that he streams with a webcam in
mhm,
his room, like in his house. And it's just a white, background, the wall. And
right,
he has, I don't know how many thousands of viewers whenever he streams, because it's what he creates that people like. They come for him, for his personality, or for
right.
his content, not for, yeah.
He's
Okay.
and he's
Mm.
he's entertaining. I mean,
Yeah, he has
he's
that.
entertaining. And
Mhm.
he's one of the, I guess, what you would call the OG type folks out there that've been
Yes. We
streaming
are
for a while, right?
we are not, right? Are we? No.
No, no,
No, we're a bit
no.
late
I
to
would
the
say we've been.
party.
I mean, we've been streaming for a bit, but I wouldn't say
We're not
we
the
haven't
OG.
gained
No.
the following and stuff like that. But
No.
we you don't have to put, like I said, you don't have to put a lot of, again, money into buying the best camera, the best microphone, all that stuff. I mean, you want to have a good microphone, so your audio, because as we say, the audio is usually the first thing. If
Mm,
you're going to spend money to up your production, you want to make sure your audio is good,
yes.
right? So
Uh,
we're kind of talking about, what do you need to have a good production, right? So you want to have a
mm,
decent microphone at the least.
yes. And for the first 2 years, I think, of my channel, I didn't have this microphone. I was filming
Right,
everything with whatever smartphone I had at the point, and I was either filming or recording. I was not live streaming at the time. I was
right.
recording also because I have a son, a boy. After he was sleeping,
Hmm.
in order to have some, quietness
Yeah.
in the room, because you don't want to have distractions also, or too much background
Right.
noise. Of course, there are YouTubers or content creators that they shoot outside, outdoor
Yes.
vlogs.
Yeah.
Um, but you
Get you a
know
good lapel mic for that when you're if you're gonna
yeah,
be doing that.
I don't. I don't. I just go with that. But I find like
Mhm.
a location that I don't go to the center of a busy
Right.
city, to
Yeah.
get all the sounds. But I try to keep it quiet in a way,
Right. A
outdoors.
good
Mhm.
setting, a good location that's not super, super busy. Yeah,
Correct.
especially
Correct.
when you're outside.
Yes. And what I wanted to say also is that if when you start, because we are addressing this podcast is for beginners, people that we want to encourage beginners, to start doing that. um well, I did say it a few minutes ago that you will improve. Like, if you start doing that, the first video, do it, post it, please do, because it's everything is connected. The production will get better. You will need to get the more and more confident, unless you are naturally confident, which is great, awesome for you. But also to get comfortable speaking to the screen, which is part of having a good production,
Mhm.
and the whole editing and how you present the final video. You will craft the skill. That's the correct expression.
Right.
You will develop the skill. By experience, you will become better and better. And we have done that, both of us, from the first video to where we are now.
Right.
Our production has improved.
Yeah,
significantly.
I had an old Logitech webcam that I think I used on one of the kind
Mhm,
of first kind of video I did. I had a lot since I do graphic design and motion graphics, I
mhm.
had a lot of computer equipment, but I was also getting into playing, learning how to play guitar, and there's a lot of equipment I got to be able to kind of play along with backing tracks. So I ended up having some audio equipment that I could already throw into my mix. So I had a Focusrite 2i2 audio interface that came with a, a a microphone that I had used. But eventually, like I said, then I ended up buying. Um, well, when the pandemic had started, everybody was kind of having to work from home and stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah, that
tried to I
happened
tried to
also.
get another webcam, but I couldn't because you couldn't find any webcams because they were being bought up,
Everyone, yes,
right?
yes,
This is
yeah.
about 2 years ago, right?
Mhm.
So I ended up going ahead and buying a Sony A5100. Again, it was within my budget at the time. It doesn't have to be, if you don't have to go for a DSLR type camera. If you could find a decent webcam, like I said, use your phone.
Yes,
Um,
it's not in my budget, and I
right,
don't have a DSLR, so yeah,
right.
yeah.
What camera are you using?
So I vary. No, I change between my Logitech webcam, the
Right.
C922.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I use this when I'm outside. I vlog
Right.
with this, but I
Right.
have a ZV-1 also
Oh, well, that's
recently.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're using now?
Yes. And I think is it like around $600 in
Mm-hmm.
that rate,
Mm-hmm.
6 7. So yeah, but I mean it was something that it was within my budget, and
Right.
I
Right.
can
Right.
say I didn't get it because I felt like I needed it, but I wanted it.
It's a yeah. David's got some videos coming out on David Foster
Mhm.
has got some videos coming out on like the differences between the ZV-1, the ZV-E10, and the new ZV-1F. But yeah, that's a good vlogging camera.
It is a great
But
vlogging camera. Yes,
I've
yes.
got I've got a C9 20 or 22 that I also use as not my again. For me, I have taken the leap into professional content creation.
You'd have.
Whereas you are still, and again, I'm not
It's not my
it's not
main
a hobby,
profession.
yeah,
Mm,
but it's something that you are wanting to do, so
yes.
you just have not had a budget to invest in any kind of but I've got my own studio and everything like that. It's taken a couple of years to kind of collect some of the equipment that I now have. So, I didn't all of a sudden spend like several $1,000s right off the bat, to like
Mhm.
get a bunch of stuff.
However, may I say here that okay, you have a great studio. Of course, you have an amazing studio with everything within the background, computers, microphones, cameras, and everything. But
Right,
if
right,
I were to be tomorrow full-time content creator magically,
right.
I don't think I would have invested in a new camera. Maybe a better ring light, just
Right, right.
lighting.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know, $20, $50, something like that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go for a new camera, or
No, no, no. There's
I would.
there's there's equipment, I mean, that you can get. I mean, lighting, which will help with whatever camera you currently have,
Yeah,
right?
twenty
Like I said,
dollars maybe for a stick.
I used the old like circular pan,
Mhm.
sun lamps. Um, but my point
Yes,
I think I was trying to make was basically it's like a lot of the equipment I mean have now is not necessarily. I mean I did not like all of a sudden spend a bunch of money on day one to create this great studio or whatever. I've slowly,
yeah, it's a
purchase pieces here
process.
and there. It's a
Uh,
to
mm.
process to do that. Um, Plus I'm already, like I said, a graphic design, graphic artist that had
Yeah. Yeah.
computers and stuff and monitors and a lot of stuff that I needed. But it's yeah, but even then, like I'm saying, for me, it's I still have a lot of work to do to up my production content wise. Uh,
Content wise, yes, the
you know,
presentation and the structure of the actual video or the stream,
mhm,
which is a big part of the production, and that is because you brought that up, that point actually, and it is good that you did, because the majority, they think production and they think equipment, but that's not what it is only,
right,
right?
right. I mean,
uh,
so yeah, so there's a lot of things that go into production as far as your equipment, your actual the content that you're gonna, and your branding or your style, which would be your studio or your graphics and stuff like that. I mean, all that is goes into the production, you
mm,
know, but
yes,
each one of those by themselves does not necessarily make a good production. It's definitely a combination of things. And as we've been saying, it's like, all the great stuff, all the great equipment is not going to help if your content just is not there.
if your content
Yeah.
sucks, if we say
Yeah.
it is not
Oh,
like,
yes. You
I
said it.
mean,
I
I
didn't.
said it. I said, I mean, I agree that some of my
Yeah.
content definitely suck. I mean, yeah,
And it
but
will suck. I mean, I mean, people starting out like us, our content is, you know,
it will
it,
suck. Yeah, yes, the first
it
videos they are.
you got to work on it, and you'll like you've been hitting this point pretty much the whole time is that
Mm.
you do the videos, you do the videos, you'll get better at the next one, and then get better at the next one. You'll see what works, you'll see what doesn't, and you'll improve. And the one thing is, you don't people should not get frustrated if, you know for the first, 6 months to a year that their production isn't looking like, the big streamers that they see, like,
It's not
Ninja or
realistic. It's not realistic to think
yeah,
like that. Yeah. Mm.
or any, any of the YouTubers, their favorite YouTubers that,
Yes, and it is a point that I hear also. I hear also a lot that don't compare to how Ninja, you said Ninja is today, or the other streamers. I mean, I'm following others.
right,
Um, the Hundred Thieves, Valkyrie,
right.
Ludwig, all those.
All
Uh,
yeah,
don't look how they are now, but when they started, they all started, probably. I
yeah.
don't know when how I haven't seen them, all of them from the beginning, but probably, a webcam and a computer. I mean, that's how everyone starts.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
there are, their videos from way back then probably, look atrocious, but they had to start somewhere.
I do go back to when I find an interesting YouTuber, maybe not one of the names I just mentioned now, but there are some others that I do
Right,
go back and see their story. How did they start? Because sometimes I get curious, and yeah, sometimes they just sit with a phone or just a webcam in grainy
right,
quality,
right,
decent audio, but not the best.
right.
But that's how you start. Yeah.
And really, again, the content drives it, because if
Mm.
small streamers, you got to figure out what you want to stream. Uh, our friend, Amazing Peter Gaming, just
Hmm.
talked to him last night, uh, and that's one of the things he's struggling with right now is what kind of content does he want to do, because right now he and his wife do the Miss Amazing. They do these cooking streams.
Hmm.
He games, but
Hmm.
he wants to do the tech reviews. Or he wants to do some content. He hasn't really nailed it, but that's the thing. It's like you want to find the content that, as we've heard before,
Yes.
find something you're passionate about, that love talking about, that you can talk about for days, like Xanthi and I do about everything, and
Yes.
or Minecraft or whatever.
Yes. Or yeah,
Or
websites.
yeah,
Mm.
websites and
Yes.
You just anyway,
Yeah,
you
new stuff.
find
Yes.
something you're gonna talk about
Yes.
that you wanna like
Mm.
whether Maverick, Top Gun was a good movie or not.
Yes. But
You know,
yes.
find
Yes.
stuff you feel you can talk about a lot, and that will help you in creating good
Yes.
content. Because if you're passionate about it, if your enthusiasm for what you want to talk about comes out, it makes it a lot easier, you know,
Yes.
to to create that kind of content.
I have two things I would like to add at this point. I do agree with what you say, of course. Like, do how do I say it? In a fancy way, do some internal soul searching to see
Right?
what you want
Yeah.
to do. Yes, and I would say to the amazing Peter, like, do everything and see what makes you. What do you prefer the most? But there's nothing wrong in doing everything if that is your artistic desire that speaks. Just do
Right.
it.
Yeah,
And
I agree with it. I mean, you it right now it's easy to experiment now with what you
yes,
want to do
yes,
in that
yes,
aspect.
because I have focused a lot of tutorials that we have talked previously. Tutorials is a big focus in my channel, but I have some vlogs, and I will continue doing vlogs. And I do my podcasts also. I do have another video that in post edit that it is website related that I'm going to release. So I'm not doing only one thing, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. We should cover that in a different episode,
Right.
or whatever we know
If
about, the
r
algorithm.
if you're gonna do it, whether you're gonna do it as this kind of as a hobby, or if you're trying to do it for a living, and how you should, focus your content, you know
Still, I have thoughts whether
yeah,
you're a professional or not. But
right.
we can have it on
We'll
a.
cover that on another one. Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
for
yes.
sure.
What
What
my
are
other point? Sorry.
Yeah, what was your other point?
Yes, my other point was that I do feel that I need to improve my storytelling, even if it's just a tutorial or a vlog. So, I mean, I'm looking for books that help, become better in storytelling. I have an
Books?
audiobooks, well,
Books are
audiobooks.
good,
Yeah.
but also observing other content creators on
Sure. Definitely. Yes.
how they structure their content,
Mm,
because there's nothing wrong with copying other people, how they do it, right? Not necessarily, the look or feel or whatever, but that, if you see a content creator who's able makes a certain delivery, or presents this information a certain way, there's nothing wrong with trying to copy that and then putting your own spin on it, right?
mm,
And I
correct.
think, some people are scared. David's covered this too. I keep bringing David up, but
Yes. He's our coach and live
it
stream mentor.
has
Yes.
brought this up, as well as other good content creators that I know. It's like it, everything has been done. There are thousands of other graphic design type people out there. There are thousands of other WordPress
Mm,
people out there that do this sort of content. But you know, there's only one you. And so you delivering it, just because it may be the same kind of content, does not necessarily it's being delivered from your perspective. So it's unique to you, you
mm,
know. And
exactly.
eventually, and that's why eventually, as you do your tutorials, do your content, you're going to develop your personality and your that unique style of delivery for you. So, don't ever be scared that, you're just doing the same content other people are doing, because do it good. Do copy the style, and then start putting your own spin on it, and then make it unique to you. Because again, all kinds of content has been done,
Yes. Yes.
many
Yeah.
times. But depending on what there's always new kind of styles and techniques for things that come out. New equipment comes out, so you could do, new reviews on equipment. There, software updates come out, so there's ways to, provide content on updates, new how to, new features for everything, for particular software, camera, or whatever, or, that's
True.
just,
Mm?
content. That's a way to keep your content fresh, but don't be scared to, you know, not, don't be scared to do it just because you feel other people have already done it.
Yes, yes, yes. Don't let that keep
Right.
you behind, like stop you. Yes. Okay. Great points. Excellent points so far. So let's say we have done all that, Grimskull. What do we do to take it to the next level? What do we
Well,
do to do the production?
well, then, once you have good your ability to tell a story or deliver your content, that people are and people are engaging, and maybe you're at that point where you can do monetization or whatever, or you know
Mhm.
then you want to look at maybe trying to improve your equipment and stuff. You may look at your branding, try maybe come up
Mm.
with some branding. If your branding is not quite there, look at, either you can either hire
I would
somebody to
say
help you with it,
yes.
or
Mhm.
try your own hand at it, to do uh some
Uh,
overlays and stuff that are unique to your
Someone that
style,
is
or
called Grimskull, maybe.
true, but I mean, I just say that,
We take commissions. Why? Oh, me.
there are that is one way to take it to the next level,
Mhm.
is with some branding, brand yourself, especially if you're going to do this as a business. So that's one way to take it to
Yes.
the next level.
If you aim to do that professionally, yes.
All right.
And I would argue, I would agree actually. I mean, when it comes to if it were me, I would go for branding instead of buying an expensive camera. If you already have a decent camera, stick with your webcam or whatever, but invest in branding. I would think that's more important, in my opinion, actually, because it will help you to stick out.
Right. Branding will help separate you from other people, for sure. For
Yes,
sure.
yes.
For sure. You know, um, then equipment, you'd go into equipment. Always, like they say, audio first,
Hmm.
if you want to make sure your audio is on point, invest in maybe a better microphone first.
Yes.
Lighting,
And lighting, oh, even the sunlight can
yeah.
do
Well,
that.
I just
Maybe.
say, you can
Okay.
get lighting a lot cheaper than getting a camera,
Right.
a new
Right. Right.
camera.
Right.
And
Yes.
if
Yes.
you have a good webcam like a C920 or 22, or even, the non DSLR type cameras like the
Hmm.
ZV-1, lighting will help improve the
Yes.
image quality a lot, and
Yes.
then possibly uh possibly invest in a better camera, depending, like I said, on what your content is. Like if you're
Hmm.
vlogging and stuff, your phone might, work
Maybe invest
just as
in
good.
a gimbal then instead.
Yeah, a gimbal, yeah,
Mhm. Or something.
tripods or whatever
Try.
to
Yeah.
hold your
Yep.
can hold your
Mhm.
camera. If you
And
are, go
yes.
ahead. No, you first.
Just a tip when it comes to the camera, the webcam, the C922, probably the same for 920. Uh, it can be tweaked through the settings of OBS,
Mhm,
or you go into like the lightings and the levels, and it can be fixed. If you think that you're not happy with what you see,
right.
keep in mind that it can be adjusted and it can have a great quality
Um,
improved.
and
If you I mean, depending the light situation you have in your room. That's
and then, and then in another way
Mhm.
is basically, if, look at your background, your studio could kind of find a space that you can
Mm.
turn into
Right.
more of
Mm.
a studio setting, so that you have, you know, something that you could set up and always be ready when you want to go do your recordings. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to have a lot of junk in the background like me, it could just be a nice, some
Just a white
bookshelves, some
wall
book.
is fine
Yeah,
as long as it's not
yeah,
cluttered, with
right. That would be the biggest
dirt.
thing for your production. Really, is make sure you have a background that is
Mhm.
professional
Clean,
looking. I mean,
clean.
and when yeah, clean. That's a better term. You know, and that is suited to what you're doing. You don't have to have, you know, again, a set construction person come in and build you. Although there are out
No,
there,
it can be definitely
you
your
know,
bedroom because many are
yeah,
doing it at their home or their living
yeah,
room. But make sure that it
but
looks tidy.
just
That's
yeah,
it.
just make sure it looks tidy and that
Mm.
you don't have chip bags and drink stuff sitting all around
Yeah,
like
dirty dishes, plates
chip chip
or chip bag.
chip bags sitting around. You know.
Yes, no one saw that. No one saw. I didn't see anything. I didn't see. Oh no, I
But
saw
anyway,
nothing. Yes. Hmm?
but yeah, so does production matter? Yes, but there are ways, definitely ways that you don't have to, you know, uh, it does not have to be an expensive
Mm,
Hollywood style production in order to be a good production. Just make
exactly.
sure if you got good content, good audio, and a nice clean background, good lighting for a your phone or whatever, your production will look good and then you can develop it over time.
Yes. If you have a mic, drop it now. No, don't drop it. It's expensive. But
I'm not. I would never claim to be like an expert. I mean,
no, wait.
we've learned a lot from other people,
Mm-hmm.
but we like to try to share just our own experiences and our thoughts on, for small content creators like ourselves who are, struggling or trying to break into being content creators,
Mm-hmm.
streamers, whether you're doing streaming or videos or vlogs or
Podcast, like,
podcasts
yeah.
like this one. If you enjoyed the video, leave us a comment, leave us some comments, ask us questions. We'll try
Mm-hmm.
to, maybe we can do a, ask, question and answer session one of these days, that
Mm-hmm.
can answer questions about,
Content
our stuff,
creation, our stuff. Yeah.
content
Mm-hmm.
creation,
Mm-hmm.
what our thoughts on everything. But yeah,
Mm-hmm. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this podcast. And all the links for our social media are in the description below. So make sure to follow us everywhere to not miss any future updates for the next episode. Yeah.
and I just have one more thing to add.
Okay.
Top Gun Maverick was one of the best movies
Oh my God, no. Okay.
in the history of movies.